Doo-doo-doo. And I
We're
think we're
live.
live. What's going
All
on,
right.
everybody? See folks kind of lining up in the chat. And this
Yeah,
is like cross channel too. So
I know. This is my first time to ever do this, I think. Maybe we've done something like this before.
I did we? I think we did it
I
like
don't
I think it wasn't there like one time we did it with like Justin.
If we
Um
did, you set it up.
yeah,
I
probably,
sure
yeah.
don't know how to do any of this stuff.
But yeah, what's
Hello,
going on,
everyone.
everybody? How's
Thank you
everybody
for
doing?
joining us.
Mm.
Uh, are you cold where you are? Because it is cold where I am.
I mean, I think we were just comparing notes. It's about the same. Like we're 32 right now.
Yeah, no, Morgan, it might actually be colder here
Is it
than
cold? Oh
there.
wow.
Hold on. No, 35.
35, okay.
That's pretty close.
Everybody sounds like
Yeah,
they're. I'm looking at the chat though. It looks like Adrian's
our
saying she's cold.
Our wind chill right now, it feels like is 18. Like it's very cold outside. We're having the wind is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We had, let's see, it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. We actually had like snow, like not a lot. It was like maybe less than an inch, and it was gone by like lunchtime because it was raining. But we're starting to get snow. It's winter.
Oh, we've got one comment that says in Trinidad in the Caribbean.
Oh
Like in
yeah,
Scotland,
they are
not cold.
probably not feeling it. I gotta say, because we've got so many folks joining, which is awesome. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to keep pace with the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. It'll be okay. But
And guys, we're kind of stalling right now because we do have an announcement we want to make, and we're gonna share with you. Some of you guys might already know, some might not, but we'll be talking about it tonight. And we'll also be taking questions and just kind of hanging out and just
yeah.
having fun.
I guess let's introduce because I saw somebody say, "Who is Jess?" I saw somebody else asking like what's going on.
All right.
So
I'll do you, you do me. Want to do it like that?
okay, yeah, let's do that.
So, all right. So, guys, joining us tonight is my very, very dear friend, Jessica Sowards from Roots and Refuge Farm, as well as the Farmer's Table. Jess and her husband, Jeremiah, they have a homestead and farm down in South Carolina. And, Jess and I have been friends for years, and we have been working on a special little secret project that we're going to be talking to you guys about tonight. I don't know. How's that, Jess?
I like it. All right. So for my friends who are here joining us, meet my friend Morgan Gold from Goldshall Farm, as well as Stories Told by Morgan Gold. Morgan is homesteading with his wife Allison up in Vermont. And he is one of my very closest friends, the best storyteller I know, as I always like to say when I'm introducing Morgan. We actually started creating content at the same time. And I kind of like to explain this to people who don't make content. But when you're a content creator, it's kind of like working in a really big office building with people. And you have people you see them, you're familiar with them. Maybe you've chatted over the water cooler a time or two, but you end up with like your work friends, like your friends that you create relationships with. And Morgan and I got started both around the same time in 2018. And I guess our friendship started with a collab over seeds. We went through a seed catalog together and did our first video together. I think that was the end of 2018.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Like I actually,
was
because I was
that
actually just pulling footage from this. It was like we recorded it. I think it was like right before New Year's in the end of 2018, and like it ran like the first couple of days
Mhm.
of 2019. Yeah.
And we've collaborated together, but over the years, really built a friendship. And right now when we're going to make this announcement, we called this our awkward announcement because neither one of us are marketers at all, really. Like we make content because we love sharing our life. We work together and come up with projects because we're both idea factories. Honestly, if you took the ideas in Morgan Gold's head and in my head and put them together, they would fill volumes. You'll see a fraction of them that we actually have the administrative power to bring to life. But this was an idea that we've been throwing around. And oh yeah, so Nicole's garden said link the video that somewhere. I had no
Yeah.
idea you collaborated that
All
earlier.
right,
We
I'll
should
dig this
just
up in a
make a
couple minutes. Maybe we
playlist
want to
of
even like
like,
flash back to it because it
yeah.
was a long. I mean, think about that. Like, so yeah, that was like 6-ish years ago, 7 years ago,
Yeah.
almost. Like, It was way
I mean,
back.
it's been a while. Like our, life has changed quite a lot since then. Let's see, at that point, at the end of 2018, I think I had somewhere in the range of like 20 to 30,000 subscribers, maybe something like that. Um,
Yeah, and I think I had like less than 1,000, or maybe I just hit 1,000 when that happened.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna dig this up here. You stall while I look for it.
Okay. Oh, we're talking about your hair right now. That's what's going on in the chat right now. Your
Yeah,
wild hair.
it's funny. So over the weekend, I just put out a quick video of just talking about the new Kim Kardashian show of all things. But like I did it because like Allison and I watched this show like Friday night, and then I just like woke up that morning with like a lot of thoughts, and it was still dark out. So I was like, oh, let me just record this as a quick video. And my hair is like boom. So yeah, there's been a lot of commentary on it lately.
I dig it. I like it. I think the wild hair is good. It suits you. Um, okay, so yeah, thank you, Sage and Stone. She's throwing up for the comments that are on Roots and Refuge. I know we can share it. There are people were asking like for your channel, but it's Goldshaw Farm if you want to look Morgan up. And then he has another channel called Stories Told by Morgan Gold, where he kind of does like video essays on all manner of topics, really. Because I think Morgan could tell a story about more
You're
or
like
less
quite
anything.
literally. I just did one on all's fair and why it's like Chinese Duanju, which I can talk
I mean,
about.
like, it's very random. I think that you've covered, I mean, like very serious topics like the consolidation of the school district in rural Vermont, like very in-depth stuff. And then also like why are they dropping beavers in certain forest areas for management? Um So yeah, but thank you all for joining us tonight. It is lovely to have you all here. So some of you are watching from my channel, and so you're seeing the chat that's there. Some of you are watching from Morgan's channel, and so we're kind of consolidating, um, which is really exciting. He's pulling up some old footage.
All right, you ready for
Uh,
it? Because I actually have it.
okay,
All
let's
right,
see it. Let's
hold on,
let's do a
hold on,
little
hold on.
throwback.
Going
Yes,
in the way
Morgan is
back
the one that
machine.
got goats from me.
Yeah, exactly. Blue and Bingo. And so for guys, who know Blue and Bingo, they actually came from Jess's farm.
Yes.
Share screen window.
Hey y'all, it's
All
Jess.
right.
Welcome back to Roots Refuge Farm. I'm actually sitting in my greenhouse right now.
Wow.
It is nice and icy outside, but it's getting warm in here. And I am getting my computer set up and getting my whole seed catalog together here from Baker Creek. And I'm actually going to get on a conference call here with a friend of mine, and we're going to kind of go over the seed catalog, talk about some of the things we're excited about, some of the things that we've had positive experiences with. My friend's name is Morgan. He has a YouTube channel called Goldshaw Farms. He is actually in a completely different growing zone than me. He's up in Vermont where it's getting cold and snowy. Morgan and his wife have a really neat historical farm up in Vermont. It's called Goldshaw Farms, same as their YouTube channel, and I love their videos. They're so well done, and I really am going to implore you guys to go check them out. But first, let's hop on this conference call and have this conversation.
I like how it's so old. It's Skype. This is like pre-Zoom, pre-Riverside. This is like I did it as a Skype call.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited to talk to you.
I know. This should be a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
So what's the weather like down there?
Well, they estimated we could get between 0 and like 200 inches of snow, and we got none, but there's a lot of ice. I almost like busted it on my front steps coming out here, and the trees are like melting onto the greenhouse right now. It's really pretty. It's just cold and wet, but no snow.
It's been snowing here since like mid-October.
Wow.
And we've had pretty much constant snow, about 2 feet, or probably on the ground now. And it's been like that.
There are
like
quite a
early November.
fewer wrinkles and gray hair.
We're like full on.
Yeah, I know, right?
It was like 1 degree this morning.
This is hysterical. All right.
So,
I don't want to make it,
But
but yes, you guys, you can find this. Just look for, Goldshaw Farm, Roots and Ref. Like there's like, it's actually, the video is 2 parts as I recall. There's like part 1 was on Jess's channel, and then part 2 is actually over on my channel.
Yeah, that was a while ago. We've actually done quite a few collaborations over the years. We did a series, which we'd have to dig this up. We should probably get some links together for people.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
All right, wait,
we
wait.
did
Hold on. I'm gonna save the link for this one. Hang on. I'm gonna
yeah,
start
we
putting
did a
these together.
series where we made content for, I think we did 3 videos. It's been a while. But for people who were like aspiring YouTubers, kind of sharing the tricks of the trade and kind of like our process, because we have a very different process. Morgan and I have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Like, our friendship is not one that's built on being the same person
I'm
at
actually
all.
curious, Jess. How would you describe those differences?
How would I describe those differences? I mean, honestly, I think that from the outside looking in, I think our lives look completely different. I mean, you're childless by choice, living in New England, homesteading on this really large scale farming with, I mean, I say large scale, a large amount of space, but growing food, but your background is very different. I would say you had a very different upbringing than me, growing up in more urban areas. Uh-oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, one of my headphones died, I think. But I have a bunch of kids living in the South, born and raised in the South. I, have grown up kind of in church and having like we have pretty different worldviews in a lot of ways. But as our friendship has grown, I think that we found a lot of similarities. I think our brains work very similar. We're both very creative people, very much storytellers. And I think it's just interesting. I mean, honestly, Morgan, I don't know that you and I would have been friends had we just like, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes I wonder, like, had our lives been different, I don't know what our friendship would have ended up like, but I'm glad for it. I'm glad
I think that's really accurate, because it really does come down to this idea that it's like, yeah, like on paper we're wildly different, but then there are some core things that are so similar. It's like crazy. Like even down to the idea of like, remember when we both started our second channels? Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
That was like a weird thing where it was like quite literally like the same conversation. We're like, oh, I got something to tell you. Okay, I want to tell you something. And it was like,
we at the same time, this has been 2 years ago, actually, because I got the little notification from YouTube that the Farmer's Table channel is 2 years old, like a couple weeks ago. But we were having one of our regular chats. And at the end of the conversation, we both at the same time said, I have something else. And I said, you go first. And he goes, I started another YouTube channel. I was like, you are never going to believe what I'm about to say to you. Because it was literally, I started another YouTube channel. So,
exactly. All right. Okay.
I'm going to go grab a charging cord real quick, because I need to charge these headphones so I can switch them out.
While Jess is doing that, guys, we're going to go take another trip into the Wayback Machine here, because I did find another video. So a couple years back, Jess and I made this video series just talking about like how we make videos and our process for making videos. And so this is that series. I think I found part 2 that I think it's like 3 parts or something. But if you just look for Roots and Refuge, Goldshaw Farm, like make videos on YouTube, it will give you that info. And it was like, Jess and I at the time had like just been getting a whole bunch of questions about like how we make our videos and the process. And so this is what it is.
Second video in a series that I'm doing with Goldshaw Farm to answer your questions about being a content creator. Today, Morgan and I are going to be pulling you into a conversation and just sharing our very different processes of being YouTubers.
Let's do this.
Okay. Now, I think it's really interesting, and I think that there's value in this. You and I are very, very different. We have very different lives and very different processes in creating YouTube videos.
Polar opposites.
Yeah, and I mean, down to like, you're working a full-time job. You and your wife live in the frigid north. Y'all do not have children. You're doing, honestly, you're doing the farming. You're really focusing on trees, ducks, and geese at this point are the 3 of the things that we've really not touched at all.
Release the Kraken!
Wow.
I mean, we are doing really different things.
So let's compare and contrast our style.
I mean, it's
cool.
funny even seeing this, because it's like, yeah, that was from like 20, I guess this is what, 2019, November 2019. So like, just like even seeing the trees at the farm here, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking about it now because at that time, our farms were vastly different. At that time, that Morgan would absolutely say he would never have goats.
100%. And it's funny because yeah, like at the time I only had goats. I'm sorry, I only had ducks and geese, and then I think I had a couple of chickens at that
my
point.
babies.
Oh yeah, like Ben's running around.
I'm sorry.
He's like what, like 3 or 4 in that shot? I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
like 4 years old. That's wild. Yeah, so I don't know. I think we've grown up together though as content creators. That's really
Completely. I
more or
mean,
less
yeah.
the vibe of our friendship is that we have grown up together as content creators.
Exactly.
We
It's like
started at the
we are
same
very much
place.
in the same graduating class of people who make
Yeah.
videos on the internet. Like, no question about it.
Well, and so for people to understand, like, how did we come about, like, the collaboration that we are currently ready to announce? This is something that's got some history behind it, but I think it was about 3 years ago. Morgan messaged me, and at that point, we had done several collaborations together. Met up at many conferences, and spent time together. Our families had kind of like gotten to know each other. Had you visited us at that point? I think you had. Yes, this was after you had come and stayed at our house.
Yeah, because I quit in February 2020. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And of course, you and Maya have always connected on y'all's nerd stuff that you can talk about. I'm completely out of the loop on, but we have probably over the course of the last several years had kind of regular calls where it's like, hey, let's get together and brainstorm some stuff. We've done podcasts, we've done all these videos together. Well, Morgan reached out to me a few years ago and said, hey, I have a writing project I'm working on, and I could really use some like help as far as like being able to share things and kind of have that feedback loop. Would you be interested in doing like a weekly call where we can kind of share what we're working on? And I was like, yeah, actually, that would be really beneficial to me. So it started for one particular project, is kind of where it started. And then that project was over, and I was like, hey, I really need us to continue this because this is really helping me as far as producing. Like it's one similarity that we have is we're both kind of wired. We're both on the ADHD, spectrum, and that dopamine hit of feedback helps a lot. And when you're doing regular videos, it's great because we have this beautiful audience that gives us so much feedback. But when you're doing like a slog, like when you're writing a book or you're doing something long, it's really hard to just keep going at it when you're not getting any feedback. So that's where it started. But over the course of these several years, Morgan has really become one of my best friends, and we've had extensive conversations about about life and the world and just what it means to be human, and how do we navigate as content creators AI? How do we navigate as humans AI and like social media and just the vast changes that have happened over the last several years in the world. And it's interesting to me, it's very grounding because we are very different people. We have very different worldviews, we have very different backgrounds and all these things, but that core similarities of just being compassionate, people that love people and that really want to make a difference in the earth and find our purpose in the things we do. It really led us to having a conversation about what really matters, and like, how do you create something real in a world where things are getting increasingly less real and less believable? Like, how do you show up authentically? How do you show up transparently? How do you stand by what you make? I know we've watched, it's just the landscape of being a content creator has changed drastically since those early videos that we're referencing.
Very, very much so. And so like it was last spring, I think it was when it was, because Allison and I, just as like sometimes we'll go on like a weekend away, right? And actually the closest city for us to go away to is Montreal. And so we went up to Montreal one weekend, and there's this content creator who's not in the homesteading farming space. There's this person, CJ the X, really weird, interesting video essays and like focus on art criticism more than anything else. And like I came back from that, and I was like talking to Jess the next week. I was like, hey, so we went away this weekend, and I saw this thing, and it was like really cool because it was like, I love their content, but it was like a different way to experience it, which is,
Mhm.
I think, sort of how we started to get onto the track of the thing that we're about to announce, which, by the way, Jess, you can make the announcement and I have a drum roll queued up for you,
Oh
ready
Lord.
when you want
Well,
it.
I mean, just to like this is a little on the vulnerable side. I'm not trying to make it heavy, but I feel like I do best when I just tell the truth to my audience. Like that is really just that's my sauce. I just got to tell the truth. Um I've shared this in multiple places, but this last year, my husband and I have kind of been on this journey where we began exploring potentially having more children, and that it's not an easy thing for us, and we went into a pretty grueling process, and we've experienced some loss and some heartbreak, and of course, Morgan, being one of my closest friends, has known about this the whole time. Coincidentally, weirdly, in the middle of our IVF journey, Morgan actually ended up being here in the weekend that we went through one of our retrievals, which was wild. Like we didn't mean for that to happen, but it was planned. And so he actually like hung out with my kids all day for me to go through this medical procedure. So did me a solid there. That's a good friend. But basically one of the things that brought this up and brought it to the forefront is I've always done conferences as a YouTuber. I've gone and spoke at conferences the whole time I've been a YouTuber. And as I was kind of starting to make some adjustments in my life to make way for potentially having a new baby, I was like, conferences are just not going to be on the table. But the idea of not being able to connect with my audience breaks my heart. Like, I so deeply value connecting with my audience in person, because frankly, otherwise you guys aren't always palpable to me. Like, I mean, I'll be frank, like seeing numbers in the hundreds of thousands on a computer screen when you're just hanging out in your garden alone with your camera, it's very hard to make that connection. And so seeing you and hearing from you and looking at your face and looking in your eyes is one of the most valuable things for me as a content creator. And we were talking, and this was like a huge conflict I was having, like, hey, I really want to pursue this, and that's up in the air right now. I don't know what's going to happen with us. I'm still praying, and I appreciate your prayers for that. But this kind of came up. He went to this event. He was like, I really liked this. I'm sitting here going, man, how do I connect with my audience if conferences are not going to be feasible for a little while? And we thought, hey, let's do something. Let's do a live show. Let's do something different. This hasn't really been done in the homesteading community, but we are more than just homesteaders. I think there's an incredible place for teaching people hands-on how to homestead, but I think Morgan and I both have built platforms off of connection, telling stories to our audience, hearing from them, engaging with them, and honestly, transparently, and honestly sharing our lives. And so this is we're calling this our pilot tour. We have 2 dates for this tour, and I want to tell you that we've been very intentional in planning this. Right now, you'll notice we've got 1 date in Boston. We have 1 date in Charlotte, and that was awkward. We knew it would be. Jackalope. We know
Yeah,
who we
like
are.
we were like, oh gosh, what are we gonna do? And it was just like, let's just do it. And so that's yeah. So we knew this was gonna feel like weird and I don't know, salesy. Like, hey, buy some tickets. But it's also gonna be kind of fun. Like, I'm
It is fun.
super excited about it. Just
It
in
is.
the idea of like, kind of, 1, we get to hang out in person. 2, hanging out with you guys in person. Like, again, like, I live in the middle of nowhere. Jess lives in the middle of nowhere. Like, our day-to-day lives, I think, just spending so much time with you guys, and I think you've seen it here, it's actually kind of just chill and normal. And it's like almost weird that, like, you make these videos and you don't see 99.9% of the people who are going to end up seeing them. And so the idea of like, let's just do some in-person events, that, I don't know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
So on this, what we're calling our pilot tour, we only have 2 dates. Just like a pilot TV show, you kind of throw it out there, you see how it does. And so I'm going up. I'm going up to Boston. Morgan's coming down to Charlotte. We specifically chose cities that have large accessible airports that are easy to fly in and out of, and populated areas where people could come to and potentially come close. And just like, Morgan and Allison went to this live show for a content creator he really enjoys watching. And that was our hope, is that we could create something that's more kind of like a date night, or get a group of, friends together and come out for a one night event as one night in each city. If this does go, we've had a ton of questions. People have been like, what about other cities? If this goes well, this is something that we will definitely be looking at, doing a more extended tour and going to other cities where we are requested. Oh,
Yeah.
Rick, I'm so glad Danny's coming. Sorry, I'm not saying
Yeah.
people I'm
Well,
excited to
and
see.
no, I know exactly. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, Rick and Danny. Cause like, yeah, I know I was talking to them. They're gonna be here. Like, like for me, like what this really comes into is this idea that like, hey, we're actually just trying to do this too, because there's not like a sponsor or anything behind it. It's like quite
Yeah.
literally us and our friend Kim, who I don't know, she might be in the chat, is like helping us with some of the logistics stuff. But like, this isn't like some massive operation, and so like if we can make this work, then yeah, we will definitely come to more cities. And like, yeah, hearing that kind of where you guys are at is useful, I think. But again, also kind of saying, hey, how do we make it something where it is like lots of people can come into one place relatively easily, which is why, like, if we're thinking of the Northeast, Boston becomes kind of a good option. Charlotte, like a massive airport with a billion connections, so it becomes easier too for people if they wanted to come in and essentially make a weekend of it too, because there is something kind of fun and nice for all of us. I feel weird lumping myself into this category, country folk, to like go out to the big city for a weekend and like eat the fancy restaurants and go see a show and do something. Like, I don't know. It's actually, sometimes it's kind of nice. Like I wouldn't want to go back to living like that every day, but like once or twice a year, there's actually a real charm to doing it.
Well, and our hope was to just create something that would be really valuable to people, but also something that's different. We wanted to try something that hasn't really been done before in our niche. There are a ton of people who watch us that are not actively homesteading. And though some people are going to get farm sitters and some people are going to leave their farms to come, we wanted to create something that wasn't an urban setting for people to come in and be able to connect. Morgan has shared the link there if you guys want to check it out. I guess I should do that too, huh? If people are okay, good.
Yeah,
You put it up.
Sorry for the weird subscribe page.io. That's just the platform I use to make like little landing pages. But yeah, just slash something real will take you to the site. And like you can go to either the venues, because the venues, I think this is like I think this is actually something that is worth talking about. The venues themselves are kind of like these cool theaters. So like, you know, I see comments of like, hey, you should go to Homesteaders of America or this or that. Part of what we're trying to do is like a little bit different than the vibe of a conference, right? Where conferences, which are awesome and fun and great, so it's not me saying that, but like they're also so almost overwhelming that it's hard to kind of just digest and enjoy sometimes. And so these are going to be in theaters where, you know, typically you'll see lectures or like even plays often will happen at like both of the venues that we're going to be at. And so the idea is like kind of a slightly different vibe, but a chance for us to like both kind of talk and tell some stories as well as kind of hang out with you guys and really have some fun. And so, yeah, that's the thinking there.
I saw a lot of people ask, like, what is a live show? I mean, very practically what this is going to be like an evening event. Morgan will talk for, 45 minutes to an hour. I will give a talk for 45 minutes to an hour. This is going to be less instruction. I mean, collectively have made thousands of videos with tons of instruction. This is going to be more along the lines of like, I don't know. I hate to say inspirational. Like, I don't know, but I do hope to inspire you. I do hope to encourage you. I hope to, make you laugh. And I hope that you walk out of there feeling filled up. Like, I mean, I hope you walk out of there feeling encouraged by us. But we will also be doing a live Q&A, taking your questions with both of us. And then, what time, there is going to be some time afterwards for us to be able to do a meet and greet. People are asking if we'll be signing books. I'm not 100% sure, but I imagine yes. I mean, like, bring them.
Yeah,
we're planning on doing a meet and greet
Brooks
after.
picture stuff. Like we'll be there, kind of hanging out to do the thing for as long as we can before we get kicked out of the venues, essentially.
Right. Somebody said something about that the prices look really reasonable. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about that too, because we
Yeah,
made
we
a decision on this.
agonized over this one a lot.
Well, because we had a lot of options and we're like, okay, what do we do? So we made the decision to spring for some really beautiful venues. We really wanted, if people are traveling to come see us, we really wanted to offer an incredible live experience where you're coming in and it's comfortable, it's beautiful, it's a vibe, like all of that. So really the majority of that cost is going into the venue. We decided that what we would do is instead of trying to like high price the tickets up front and low price the ones in the back, we would just do a base price across the board. And when you buy your tickets, you get to pick your seats. So the earlier you buy them, you are rewarded with the better tickets, because the earlier you buy them, the sooner that we can recover our costs that we put in on the front end to secure these extremely nice venues. So that's actually like where we're at. You know, we're
be real transparent about it. Like, it is just that, it's this.
Yeah, we
hey,
didn't get
there's a rental
sponsors
fee
for
to get the
this.
place.
Yeah.
We try to, and just so you guys know too, like the tickets are like $50-ish. They vary a little bit from venue to venue, only because of like service fees and processing stuff, which is just kind of how that industry works. But it was trying to do it where it's like, hey, how can we make this essentially? I mean, our goal, we'd love to have it just be a break-even event, like saying like the question, hey, will you do more? If we can get past that point,
Right.
I don't, we haven't talked about this, but like I would totally, if we could just even be like, all right, we're not losing money, let's do this. Like that's essentially the goal.
Well, I mean, our goal in doing this is to connect with our audience and to create something real and awesome and valuable and to feel good about it. Oh yes. So where I am coming up north for the snow, I will tell you guys, I am planning on loading my kids up into an airplane for the first time. My 3 little boys who are homeschooled, they have been begging to go up to that area for a long time. So they're extremely excited to be able to come up there. And we're really, I am hoping that the weather's good. Obviously, we're farmers. Like the winter time is the best time for us to leave our farms. But maybe we'll see a little snow, but it won't be a hindrance.
And just to hit a couple of the questions that I'm seeing here. So one, so Tanya asked, hey, will there be a Q&A? So the answer is yes. So the structure of it is, I've got a story to tell. I'm actually already started. It's going to be a story that I'm telling with a whole bunch of illustrations that I'm drawing. And I've actually even started like mapping this out and even sketching some of the things. So that's one part. The other part is Jess has, I think, kind of a really interesting concept that she's going to share with you and talk about. And then it will be at least 45 minutes to an hour, who knows? We'll see how long it goes. But we're going to kind of both together do a Q&A with all of you guys in the audience, and you can just pop up, ask questions, like really kind of keep it light and fun and just, making it back and forth. And then afterwards, we'll have time to just, hang out, sign books if you want, pictures, that sort of thing. I saw a couple questions about books. I know I'll have the Toby Dog book with me. So the first book will be there, and I'm happy to sign that, and he's probably selling copies. Jess, I imagine you're going to have your books there, right? Maybe, I don't know.
When I tell you guys I'm not a marketer, there's so many times that people are like, you know how many events I've showed up to completely empty-handed, and then I look around and see all the other YouTubers and they're doing all this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's literally the first time it has occurred to me that I should like do that. So
if you have copies of Jess's book, bring it.
You should bring it. I may bring some books to sell. I don't know. I mean, like, honestly, it's not really my strong suit, like doing stuff like that. I'll be there. I will be there. I'll share my heart with you and talk to you. Well, great. And if you have anything you want me to sign, I'll sign it.
and I'm pretty the same. And I think the one thing I will say that I know some people will be disappointed with. So unfortunately for my new book, which is coming out February, I think 22nd or 23rd, it will not be available yet. But I will happily sign. I'll see if I actually can get there's like these special autograph plates that I know for the autograph version that you can buy through the website that I'm signing. I might see if I can just get some of those and I'll like give them to you, and like you can have it so you can put it in your book too. Might be another option for you. Because I know it was just the one thing of the dates that worked for the venues didn't work for the book release, and we prioritized just getting dates that worked for our schedules and the venues that we wanted.
Right.
That was what drove the priority there. Another question that we got is, will we be broadcasting it, Jess?
We are not going to broadcast this. We actually decided for now, and again in the future, if this turns into something more extensive, we do a longer tour. We may look at potentially like recording one of them. But right now, we actually decided to just let this purely be a live in-person event where we just do it that way. In some part, that's just purely a technical thing. We don't have a team. It's just us. You know, we have one friend that we've hired to help us. But the other thing is just kind of to enrich the people who do come. They're getting something. This kind of
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, there's like almost a certain magic, and again, this comes back to like even the experience I was telling you guys about, like that I had this spring, where it's like being there in the room, experiencing something. It's actually becoming rarer and rarer in
Yeah.
society to have that ability, and so like it's actually trying to say, and this is I think very much part of the experiment, right? Like, kind of, is there a way to create that magic where it isn't live streamed and you're not worried about, well, can everybody in the remote hear it or not? It's just like, hey, we're all in one room. Let's make this about being in this room together.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking. Let's just be fully present. I know this is kind of short notice. We actually had intended on announcing this a little earlier, but honestly, I wasn't able to do that. And the size of the venue, they're not huge. They're pretty intimate. I think one is in the range of 780-ish
I think
seats. The other one
740 or
is
something. Yeah, but yeah.
the other one is close to 1,000 or around 1,000.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like partially this is something that we wanted to feel fairly intimate. I know 1,000 people sounds like a lot, but I mean, I know I've definitely spoken to rooms with thousands of people in them before, and we wanted this to be somewhat intimate. This is a pilot tour. This is an experiment. We're kind of figuring it out. Oh, thank you. Beehive Homestead. Charlotte is 1,187 seats. That's the bigger one.
Yeah.
The one in Boston is smaller.
It's a little bit small. Yeah, it's like 740 or 50-ish or something for the Huntington.
But I
Actually,
really wanted that one because it was so pretty.
yeah, it really is. It's a very cool, like if you don't know it and if you know Boston. So like it's funny. I used to live down the street when I went to college. I lived like right down the street from it. On
Really?
Huntington
I didn't
Avenue.
realize that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I say right down. It's probably like 3 T stops down from where I lived, but not far at all. I actually also saw somebody in the comments mention that you should go to the Isabella Gardner Museum, which I would agree. Which is this very cool art museum, which is like right across the street from where I went to college, like the art school part.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's
I
just
think
like a
that
really cool area.
I'm going to bring, especially I'm planning on trying to bring the boys, and I think I'm going to spend just a few days in the area. And obviously, it depends on the weather and all that stuff, but they've never been anywhere like that. So we're going to go and kind of explore Boston a little bit.
Yeah,
And the night theater in Charlotte is also beautiful. That was important to us. Like, we really wanted this to be like a really great experience for people. Like, if you're spending your money and your time to come spend time with us, I want to do everything within my power to make sure that that's possible. I saw a comment a while ago. We might not be able to find it, but somebody said, this is really great for people who can't do a homesteading festival. Also very much on, our radar. I've been to a lot of homesteading festivals. I love them. I think that homesteading festivals are great, and for so many reasons, but they are grueling as far as like the energy that goes into them. They're long, long days. Energy wise, I mean, crowd wise, it's a lot. And for some people, it's really not feasible, especially for people who have any sort of like physical limitation or can't handle the heat or different things like that. You're also, risking the weather and all that. So this was very intentional. We wanted to create something that would be an access point for people who might not otherwise have had one that they could take advantage of in the community.
yeah. Hey, Jess, another question. Will
Mhm.
the kids be at the event? I'm assuming meaning your kids, but what about kids in general as well?
What if we loaded up our goats, Morgan?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that. Those kids, yeah. I mean, look, I already,
You
took
don't
them
have
through
kids.
downtown
It's only kids
Wilkes-Barre,
you have.
Pennsylvania. So, me and Bluey and Bingo, we travel. We have a system down at this point.
Yeah, so somebody was asking earlier, is Morgan the one who got goats for me? He did. So we have sister goats. So my Chloe and Muffin they all have the same dad. So my Chloe and Muffin were from this year's kids. Morgan got Bluey and Bingo. Morgan named all the goats with my boys because he was here. He was here for the kidding. Just happened to work out. He was here for the kidding week. I'm going through medical procedures. Morgan's watching my children and watching our goats to make sure.
It was a very busy week that week in February.
It was a wild week, and yeah. So Morgan was keeping the human kids entertained, teaching them how to make YouTube videos, and then that afternoon we have kidding. Of course, none of this was public knowledge at the time, but I had just gone through, like, I was under general anesthesia that morning, and like that evening, the goats are having babies. And so I actually was able to sit a lot of the time, and Morgan actually handled a lot of that stuff while I talked him through it. But he actually helped. He actually helped oversee the kidding, and he was there for Bluey and Bingo being born. And so he conspired with my sons, who are also Bluey fans. And that is how all of my goat kids this year ended up with Bluey names. But I will tell you that I might have been conspiring a little bit too, because I'm like, if I let him name them, he's going to totally fall in love with them. Because I have been on team, let's get goats on Goldshell Farm for a long time.
Well, and it was funny because it was like, I had pulled up to like your place and it was like, it was happening at that very moment. Like,
yes.
Like I think Bluey, like when I walked out to the barn, she had just hit the ground kind of thing. And then Bingo was the next morning.
Oh, she was still like wet. Yeah. Like she was just getting cleaned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. I saw one comment. Oh, somebody said locked and loaded. Do you know this story, Morgan? I don't know if you know this story. Karen said locked and loaded. So when Ben, my youngest son, his name is Benjamin, farm boy his whole life. He's 10 now. But I think he was probably 4 or 5. And we were in kidding season. This is back when we lived in Arkansas. And one of my goats was in labor. And it was early still. When they go into active labor, it typically goes pretty fast, but it was early and it was morning. And I was out there. Benjamin woke up and he came out, and the boys are kind of hovering, but nothing's really happening yet. And he really wanted to go in and eat his breakfast. And he says to me, 5 years old, he said, "Mom, will you come get me when they're locked and loaded in the vagina?" So that's a phrase that gets thrown around in the Roots and Refuge family often. Locked and loaded. So Karen West Perrin said Bluey and Bingo will not enjoy Boston as much as Jess.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll take that one off the table. So Bluey and Bingo will not be at either of the events.
That would be unkind for us to take the kids. But
I saw
my children.
Somebody asked me if Alfred's going to be there. He might not. I don't know. I got to see. Allison will definitely be at Boston. I know that for sure. Maybe Charlotte. We're still trying to figure that out with her work schedule.
I know that Maya's definitely coming to Charlotte. I'm planning on flying the boys up with me just because they really want to go on an airplane. So we're talking about me bringing them to Boston. Maya may come to that one. It really depends on if we have a farm sitter and stuff like that. So just logistics, we'll see. But yeah, our hope is for this to be, a family event as far as like
and Abby Dog and Bear and Gabe and Katie. They won't be there either.
No. Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, "Do you just take Bear everywhere with you?" And I'm like, actually, no. Bear stays on the farm. He is a farm dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because people always ask me that too. Like, "Oh, hey, could you bring and it's funny. Like Toby hates leaving the farm. Like when the 2 times of year he goes is, well, he has like twice a year I get him groomed, and then once a year he's got like his regular vet checkup, and usually I'm having to carry him into the truck to get him to leave.
Yeah. Bear loves car rides, but my thing is when you live an hour from everything, when I go into town, there are some places like you can take a dog into the Home Depot. Like there are some places I could take Bear, but I need to run by the grocery store. I need to get all my errands done at once. So like Bear goes on car rides if we're just like running around somewhere here, but I don't take him a lot of places because I'm not going to leave him in the car, and there are places I need to go in that he can't go. So Bear mostly stays home.
Yeah. So, and if you guys want to check out the event, I just dropped the link in there again. It's subscribepage.io/somethingreal. And that will connect you to like sort of how to get it. There's also like a little FAQ to answer any questions that you guys might have around like what's going on and what's with the event and like all of that good stuff. And so if you have more questions too, let us know. We'll try to do our best to answer it. Oh, Jess, there's one thing we haven't talked about at all that I think is worth bringing up. We say that there's a super secret zine being produced. What is that?
I think you're going to have to tell people what a zine is, Morgan, because I know you use that word like it's common, but it's not.
All right. Let me back up with the story then there. So growing up as a kid, I drew a ton of comics. Like that was my passion from like age 8 to 18, essentially. And, especially back in the 90s when a lot of this was happening, there was a thing where you'd like basically make photocopied little magazines of your comics, or sometimes people would have like writing or like punk rock band reviews and that sort of thing, and those are called zines. So zines, like the back end of the word magazine. And so lately, in the last year or so, I've become like fallen back in love with this as a format, because it's just essentially taking writings and drawings or whatever you got and putting them into like a paper readable form, something that's easy to print. Like I've put out a number of like mini comics and zines in the last year that, are just basically a PDF on my website that you can download and print off. But what we're going to be doing is printing a special zine collaboration between the two of us that consists of some interesting stuff, some fun stuff, thematically very connected to what we're trying to do with the event itself. And so you'll get that. So like this is all included with like your price of the ticket is like that, plus some other goodies, maybe some stickers, a couple of other things that I don't want to give away just yet. But yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking at just, I mean, honestly, like when we tell you guys, the number one reason why we wanted to do this event was to connect with you. And so like when we're talking about making like a little goodie bag and stuff, it's because I mean, we like giving you stuff. The number two reason we wanted to do this event is we just wanted to hang out. Like have a reason to get together. So this is it.
I mean, honestly, it really does come down to a lot of that, where it's like this idea of like, if you could do fun projects with your friends where you're just hanging out and having fun, like life is good with that. And I mean, that's really, I think so much of what this is rooted in is just wanting to do that, which I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to be pertaining to the event. Like we can chat for a little while. Like if you've got anything that you
actually,
want to
all right. So Bridget's bringing up Boston Museum of Illusion. Boston's got a lot of great museums in general. So like I mentioned the Gardner Museum, the Museum of Fine Arts, which is, like I said, where I actually went to college, is just an outstanding art museum. The Boston Science Museum itself, like honestly, just if you're thinking of the list of places to take your kids, you absolutely should go there, because it's just incredible. Yeah. Like the exhibits that they have, the stuff that they have, the aquarium's great. Like, I mean, yeah, you could spend a full week in Boston and just go to museums, and it would be you wouldn't see everything essentially.
Yeah. I can't spend a full week in Boston though, because 1 week after Boston, I have to be in North Carolina because I have a plan. I have plans to be in North Carolina.
Yes, I know. That's actually, yeah, they are back to back. So it's
one's 1 weekend in Boston, one's the next weekend in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, someone asked what my current crochet project was. It's a hat. It looks like a yarmulke right now, but it's the top of a hat. It's gonna be.
Jimmy Jabba got the reference. All right, good job, Jimmy.
Yeah, we've been the little zine that Morgan had this idea for the zine because he used to make these, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love stuff like that, and it's fun. It's gonna be just like lots of little random things. It's just like a little exclusive thing. I saw somebody asked about that.
Gold root swag bag. There you go.
That's funny. That makes me think of like my favorite rutabagas are these like yellow ones. They're called lemon yellow. The gold root swag bag. That's what will have a little yellow turnip on it. Oh, thanks for drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food, Morgan and Jess? Your favorite food?
My favorite food. I mean, I'm pretty partial to pizza. Like if I was just gonna pick the one thing, pizza, probably either pizza or like eggplant parmesan. Like I don't know. Like I always grew up with like really good Italian cooking.
I was about to say, of course, yours is Italian food.
Yeah, like that's definitely where the roots are. How about you, Jess?
My favorite thing, which is so funny because I'm like the gardener and I love everything that comes out of the garden, but if I had to choose one food to be my favorite food, it would be a perfectly cooked steak. Like that's my favorite food. Um, I
All
like
right.
sushi and ramen too. I don't go out to eat a lot. Frankly, if I go out to eat, it's going to be something like sushi or ramen that I'm not making at home because a lot of places I go and like the food's better at home. So if I'm going to go out to a restaurant, it's going to be something like that.
All right, Jess, here's a question for you. Hey, will you get Jess to list her punk rock, folk rock band favorites in reverse? What's your favorite? All right, all right. Jess, what's your favorite band? I actually don't think I know the answer to this question.
I don't know that I really have a favorite band because my favorite music is more like bluegrass, folk, indie. Give me acoustic music all day long, and like a one person with an acoustic guitar is typically my favorite music. So my playlists are pretty random. I like older music. I like all kinds of things. I will tell you guys a funny thing. Morgan listens to music that makes me have an anxiety attack. I'm just gonna tell you. And I was in the car with the kids, and I like acoustic music because I feel like it is the soundtrack of my inner world. Like inside of me, in my mind, it's acoustic guitar music. If that's the music that's playing, it's an acoustic guitar. Okay. That's the sound of my heart. That is the sound of my mind. It's chill, it's calm. I know there's a lot going on up here, but that's it. One time I was in the car with the kids and we were listening to music and I put on some Dead Kennedys. Like, just my cats are fighting and they've got to stop all over. Go on, you nasty boys. Stop it. They're like meowing and it's distracting me. Fussy boys. All right, so I put this song on, and the boys liked it. But I was listening. I was like, I think that this is the sound of Morgan's inner world.
Basically, just Jello Biafra on loop. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, I love the Red Play Strays. Like people are listed. Chris Stapleton. I like Chris Stapleton. That's really more Maya's jam. I've actually seen Chris Stapleton live. Jeremiah's a really big fan. Um, I love. Somebody said their husband loves Jesus music that screams at you. Interestingly, I had a friend for a long time that followed around multiple screaming Jesus bands. Like, and so I've listened to a good deal of that. But for me, it's acoustic, like anything acoustic, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of my jam.
I mean, I think like, all right, so I mean, yeah, like probably like the Clash or the Dead Kennedys, or I don't know if you guys know Pat the Bunny, are probably like up there as my favorites. Bluegrass wise, like, honestly, there are some stuff, like I like Trampled by Turtles. Like, I think they're good. Like, gosh, do you guys know who Abby the Spoon Lady is? She's like out of Asheville, and she's just this lady, like plays the craziest spoons, and like I don't know, it's pretty good. I'm trying to think of other bluegrass I like, but
Have you ever
yeah,
heard of the Pickin' On? Like it's called if you look up Pickin' On, and it's a group that has done all these covers
yeah,
of like
I've heard a couple of those albums.
I love those so much where they have taken just like everything. And I'm talking like they've taken like rap music, like old school, just everything you can imagine, every genre, and they have covered it in like a bluegrass style. And it's
Actually,
so good.
my one of my favorites of all time is there's like a Pickin' on Modest Mouse, and they do a
Oh, yes,
version
I
of
know exactly what you're
Trailer
talking about.
Trash that's like the best version of Trailer Trash there is. Like, it's so good. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking. There's also somebody, I don't think it's, I think it's, was it Green Sky Bluegrass, who does like this very incredible Time and Breathe medley, like Pink Floyd, that is like outstanding too. Like, that's probably some of my favorite bluegrass.
I like collaboration music where you have like unlikely genres that come together. There's one more album that is really good bluegrass is Callan Morrison and Eli West, and the album is called "I'll Swing My Hammer with Both My Hands." And when I went up and did that road trip with Malia, I listened to that album. My brother-in-law actually told me about it, and I listened to that album as I drove through Zion, Mount Zion, like the national park. And just cried because it was just so beautiful. And so now I listen to that music and it like takes me back to that. So
I mean, that's actually the magical thing about music in general, right? Like that it has this ability to like transport you to a different time and place. And it's almost like a smell at like in terms of how strong that
yes.
sensation is.
So somebody asked me, Samantha asked me how Daniel's doing. He's doing well. He's actually in Puerto Rico right now. But interestingly, you were saying that, and I was thinking it, and I saw that message. Before I went to Scotland, Daniel knows more music than anybody I know. And I messaged him, and I was like, hey, can I get a playlist for Scotland? And he made me a playlist that was like probably 30, 40 songs, something like that. And a lot of them were kind of Celtic, and a lot of it's acoustic, and a lot of different things. And I listened to that playlist the whole time I was in Scotland. And so now when I like miss Scotland and want to go back, I can just put that playlist on and it's like takes me back. So Jeremiah and I both do that. Like when we go on trips, so we'll like find a certain set of music to listen to the whole time you're on the trip. And it's like intentionally creating like a sound memory as an access point so you can kind of like connect with it again.
That's really cool. All right, Jess.
Yeah.
Assassin32 asked this question, which I think is an interesting one. Like, so yes, this is only right now, the only planned events we have are Boston and Charlotte. If we were to go to other cities, what would be the tops of your list?
Definitely West Coast. I have just some of the most precious like followers, viewers, and friends out there on the West Coast, and I typically try to get out there pretty regularly to meet people. So I love to go out to the West Coast, probably to Texas, somewhere in that range. And I don't know. I think I'd like to go to some of the places that I've never really been. Like I've been there, but like some places up north, like I don't know, just like the general upper middle part of the country. Like I've not ever gone to any events there. I have been to West Coast events. I've
Have
now
you ever
been
been
to
to
New
Chicago?
England. I've
Oh,
never
see,
been there. I've
Chicago's a
never
great
even.
town. Like, and that would be a fun
Yeah.
place. Like, but yeah, like I mean, I agree with you. Like, definitely, I'd want to do West Coast, whether it be like San Francisco area, like Seattle-ish area, could be a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel like actually, admittedly, part of it's like, all right, where do I have friends? All right, like it's like
Seriously, like
weirdly the
that's
calculus involved in some of this.
yeah. I mean, honestly, like part of us are planning this in the first time was like, hey, let's do something so we can get together. You know, like it is. That's kind of this thing of let's do it all together.
Yeah.
Polars.
Oh, actually, all right. So I want to address this. Wait, where did it go from AJ? So yeah, actually, the spiced pear is not great, and I also had another like really bad polar flavor for the first time the other day. It was like brown sugar clementine, but it had this like very cloyingly fake brown sugar flavor to it, and I agree. Like, and this is like the first because I'm usually like good with pretty much every flavor, but like that, no, I didn't like that one either. But yeah, the spiced pear one is not good either because it's like very cinnamony, but it's a seltzer, and that just it's like when you
Too
have
spicy.
like, have you ever had the buttered popcorn jelly beans?
Yes.
And it just does this weird brain texture thing where it's like, yes, this tastes exactly like movie theater popcorn, but it doesn't feel even remotely like it. It's very unsettling.
The first time I read Harry Potter and they talked about Bertie Bott's every flavor beans, I had thought of the buttered popcorn jelly beans because those were always my least favorite. I used to get I used to get Jelly Belly jelly beans in my stocking whenever I was a kid, like when they were a new thing. And you know, a little bit older in my childhood, but I hated the buttered popcorn ones because they were so jarring. It's like this flavor should not be in my mouth while I'm eating a Jelly
All
Belly.
right, Jess. Dabber Chick asks, are we siblings or related?
Somebody did say earlier that they think that we must have been related in a past life. I don't know
Yeah,
that I
no,
really
no,
believe in that,
zero
but
relation at all. Like, not even.
no,
Yeah.
we definitely have a common thread. I think that whenever you meet people sometimes that you like develop friendships with, you're like, man, this is cool that we have like a commonality, but no, we're not related at all.
Yes.
Okay, someone said in Boston you must go to North End for family style Italian food. Angela's recommendation.
Get some cannolis or something. Like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
the North End's got some really good Italian. Yeah, some really good options there for sure.
I'm excited. I've not really ever explored Boston. I drove through there I was trying to remember. I went to Boston once when I was younger, but I was like, I don't know, 13 or 14. I was probably moody and not paying attention. But like when I drove through there, was it last year that I was up there? Yeah, it was last year. I came up for Homesteaders of New England
Yeah, it's
and
probably
I
when
flew
you
into
came up here. Yeah.
Boston. Yeah, and it was so cool because I drove through and I drove past like Harvard and the rowing teams were out and I was like, this is really neat.
Boston's so I have a much deeper relationship with the city because I grew up in New England, so I grew up in like central Connecticut, and so basically halfway between New York City and Boston was like the town that I grew up in, and so I just remember as a kid we'd like go on like a weekend trip to Boston, like it was like a totally normal
Yeah.
thing. School field trips were often to Boston, but then I went to college and I lived in Boston for 4 years, and like I don't know, that always just like is really now the context I will always think of Boston in, and just like you get to know the city itself, and then obviously you go back for Red Sox games or whatever, and like yeah, it's a fun town. It's one of my favorite cities for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to get to spend a little time exploring it.
So Jess, are
Um,
there any new Farmers Table videos coming soon?
I like how you picked that question out. Morgan asked me, though, like, as soon as we got on our call last week, he's like, so have you cooked any? I'm like, Morgan, I cook every day. And he's like, that's not what I meant. We've been discussing. Actually, yes, I have new Farmers Table videos coming. It is actually the top of my priority list. That I'm going to actually be sharing some things about the wonderful pumpkin. We're going to be doing some pumpkin stuff. Um, I'm swimming in pumpkins, and so we will definitely be showing some different things about that. And I'm hoping to get those video out on the Farmer's Table this week. I love making. I have grown to love making food content, and right now I just need to rip the Band-Aid off and get some stuff out. I haven't posted on that channel in 3 months. I actually logged onto it the other day for the first time. I've shared, my audience knows I've been in a really weird place the last month or two. And I signed on to it and it's like got more traffic than Roots and Refuge has. And I've been posting on Roots and Refuge. And I'm like, oh great. I guess I should probably take care of this channel because apparently people like it.
Plus, it's the time of year where everybody's just cooking.
It is. It is the time of year.
All right. So Jess, I think we're getting ready to wind up, but Tabitha did ask the question because she probably missed it at the top of the show. What was the announcement?
Well, you recap it. I announced it the first time. You want to do the drum roll again? I think we could. We'll do the drum roll for Tabitha.
All right, wait, hold on. Let me see if I'm good enough to do it. All right. So Tabitha, we have a special announcement just for you. Jess and I are going to be doing a couple of live shows. We are going to be doing 2 live shows, one in Boston on January 31st, the other one in Charlotte, North Carolina on February 7th. It will only be in person. There will be no live stream. There will be no recording. And it's going to be kind of a little bit of an experiment. And if the experiment goes well, we will probably be taking it to more cities. But if it doesn't, these will be your only opportunities to see us live and on stage, and it'll be it. Like, we're done. So that is, I think, the announcement. I think I got it all in there.
Yeah. Wildflower Homestead said, my 7-year-old said, oh, Jess and our farmer. She refers to Morgan as our farmer because he's close to us in New Hampshire in one video. Yes, I love that.
Yes.
It's funny to me that people are still like figuring out that we know each other. Because I feel like we've done so many things, but I guess I don't know. I mean, it shocks. It's like it seems people are like, "Oh, my worlds are colliding," and I'm like, "Wow, I don't see it that way." But I'm sure for some people, they have not imagined that we would be as good friends as we are.
Yeah, I know. It is always kind of funny. It's like, oh wow, like all right, crossover event, like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys.
Oh
yeah, go. Sorry.
Yeah, like I thank you guys for being here, for hyping us up. Like you make me feel like we could just do anything.
Yes.
They actually do. I mean, like all these comments, I'm like,
yeah, it really does mean a lot. And yeah, looking forward to hanging out with you guys in Boston and Charlotte. First come, first serve in terms of picking your seats when you order your tickets. And so, like, the reason to buy the tickets now is you will get the best seats in the house, because all seats are kind of, as they're on sale, listed as a single price. We're not doing like, if you're on the balcony, it's this price. If you're in the floor, it's this price. It's all one. So it becomes like first purchase, first pick of seats in terms of how.
And you get to pick when you purchase your seats. You have your assigned seat, so you don't have to get to the event early or anything like that. You will have your assigned seat, but the sooner that you purchase it, the more you're going to have to choose from. And there's the floor. At this point, I think the front rows are sold out, but like there's still there, at least when we started this, there were still tickets on the floor. I don't know how fast they're going to sell. This is an experiment. I mean, like, obviously we're hoping everything goes well, but like, we had sold quite a few tickets before we started this. So I do expect that this will sell out. I don't know how fast that will be. But then there are balcony seats and all that. And of course, if you prefer one over the other, you get to choose.
Yeah. And no, sorry, David, there will be no bootlegging, like tape trading in the parking lot. No, we're gonna have to put a nix on that. But
I don't know, Morgan. I feel like if a person brings one of those video cameras that sits on their shoulder, I would allow it. House rules.
Or if they have like the old school 1970s like boom mic and they're holding it out, like if you're just doing it on your phone, nah, that's not gonna cut it. But like if you've got the big shoulder mounted Betamax camera or the boom mic, like you're recording it to like a reel-to-reel tape, we'll give you a pass. and I think that the question of will there be merch, there will probably be some merch essentially limited to our locations, where I would expect I probably will have more stuff for Boston, and Jess will probably have more stuff for Charlotte, just by virtue of we don't have to fly to either of those locations.
Right.
For it.
That was in planning this, because of the fact that this was an experiment, because of the fact that we were really looking to just cover our cost in this. Like, the reason we planned it as we did, Boston is within driving distance of Morgan's farm. Charlotte is within driving distance of mine. And we were trying to keep it, pretty reasonable. So,
yeah. So I guess with that, we'll talk to you guys soon. We might do another one of these to help promote. And if you guys have questions, let us know. And
awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.